Apologies to the traditions of UCLA, Notre Dame, and Kentucky. It doesn't get much better than this. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill McAtee, and it would not be misleading to call this the game in the regular season of college basketball. Duke and North Carolina, as we told you in the tease, this game could be for #1, but certainly there are some folks in Kansas who might dispute that. The Jayhawks were impressive yesterday and rolling over Iowa State. Georgia Tech tied for third in the UPI coaches poll with North Carolina, was stunned yesterday by Illinois down in Atlanta, and Kentucky was an easy winner against LSU. Now, before we go down to Durham, a couple of quick notes. Martina Navratilova last night was upset in the semifinals of the Virginia Slim stop in Oakland by Kathy Jordan, and Jimmy Connors was upset as well by Joachim Nyström of Sweden. Connors in the near court was up a break in the first set, but he couldn't capitalize. Nyström will go to the net for the point, and he wins in straight sets over Jimmy Connors, 6-4 and 6-2. He will now meet Yannick Noah in the finals today, and watch Noah at the net against another Frenchman, Thierry Toulon. Great reaction from Noah, and finally a backhand winner cross-court. Noah wins the match 6-2, 6-7, 7-5. All right, we are set now for Duke and North Carolina. The waiting is over. Settle in for a bit of insanity. Here's Dick Enberg down in Durham.
Duke University with its Gothic style. That's Cameron Indoor Stadium behind me. They've been playing basketball in there for nearly 50 years. It might fool some of you. Normally on a college campus, you can pick out the basketball arena, not here. It's a sunny 40-degree Carolina day. Duke is about to play North Carolina. A Sunday on a college campus, often you can find, well, it's like a big, woolly, comfortable sweater. You can find serenity and peace in this pastoral scene, a setting that belies the remarkable contrast we're going to find inside.
NBC Sports, proud to be college basketball's first network. Today, it's the North Carolina Tar Heels against the Duke Blue Devils. Today's game is brought to you by Michelob Light, super premium taste in a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all? By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. By Goodyear, Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car. And by Metropolitan Life and affiliated companies. Get Met, it pays. This is Dick Enberg with Al McGuire, #1 on the line as rivals Carolina and Duke battle in Durham.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and change your face? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all. The pride is back. Born in America. The pride is back. Born in America.
Plymouth shows you why the pride is back. Plymouth Voyager, car-like handling, Plymouth's 550 protection plan. Versatile Plymouth Voyager.
The pride is back. Born in America. Again.
Chrysler Plymouth says, thanks again, America, with $500 or $1,000 back on every car we build.
This is a revolutionary advancement in shaving from Gillette Research. The brush. Gillette announces Brush Plus, a shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift your whiskers with the soothing warmth only a brush can give you. A concentrate with extra softeners and lubricants that are massaged deep into your beard for a shave that is superior. Brush Plus from Gillette for a superior shave.
Big boy's got what it takes. Fulfilled all out holy flakes. Nothing halfway, nothing sweet. Just a great big crunch of good whole wheat. Yeah, hey, banana, move aside. These big flakes got nothing to hide. Wheaties, Wheaties, good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Cameron Indoor Stadium, packed to capacity. The rivalry between North Carolina and Duke University continues, and so much on the line today. #1 in the nation, #1 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and we're going to also see maybe the #1 player in the United States. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Al McGuire in the place that you have affectionately called the zoo, and we'll talk about that later. Unfortunately, the bad news today is we come to the big game for #1, and North Carolina is minus 2 key players.
With 2 key players out, Dick, North Carolina pretty much can't win. Duke has to lose. The key to the game today will be their guards. Kenny Smith has to not only run the show, he has to start scoring the register. Also, Lebo has to get someplace around 15 points.
All right, Warren Martin, a 7-foot forward center for North Carolina, will not play. He has a bad foot. Steve Hale, their academic All-America and fine backcourt player, he had a lung collapse about a week ago against Maryland. He still is not 100%. They think he might play next week. Duke University brings a man, number 24. They retired his number, Johnny Dawkins, to this game. He has been absolutely brilliant for 4 years.
Well, you don't stop Johnny Dawkins. The only person that can stop Johnny Dawkins, surprisingly, is God. The key to the game for Carolina to stop is Allery. If he can hold down Allery, they have an outside shot at winning.
Well, they're playing for #1, and for North Carolina more than that. For 2 decades, 19 years, Dean Smith's Tar Heels have finished either first or second. If they lose today and Georgia Tech wins later today, Carolina would drop to 3rd. Who's #1? We have from Kansas University, and some folks out there would say the Jayhawks are #1, Larry Brown. Yesterday, Eddie Sutton at Kentucky said, you had the best team by far that he saw all year. Whom would you,
my job.
whom would you say is the best club you've played?
I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but Duke's probably the best team we played. They beat us in the finals of the NIT, and I thought they were a bright team and a really well-coached team.
The young fans here at Duke are saying, boring. I don't know what, maybe it's us. We'll look forward to your comments during the course of the game, and we'll visit again at halftime.
Thanks a lot, Dick.
Larry Brown, head coach at Kansas University, joining us, and we will have the starting lineups. The Tar Heels and the Blue Devils from Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, in just a moment.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Some companies rent you a car, and that's it. But Hertz is with you all the way, with customer service representatives to speed you on your way. Computerized driving directions to help you find your way, and 24-hour road service in case you get stuck on the way. So you have a choice for your money. You can rent from a company that just gives you a car, or rent a car that gives you a company. Hertz, you don't just rent a car, you rent a company.
For the 3rd-ranked Tar Heels, the starting lineup, freshman Jeff Lebo in the backcourt, teaming with veteran Kenny Smith. Steve Hale, of course, out of there. The rest of the front line, Brad Daugherty, leading scorer, leading rebounder, candidate for Player of the Year in the nation. Joe Wolf from Wisconsin at 1 forward spot, and Curtis Hunter in as a starter today. He's from Durham, North Carolina. For Duke, it'll be Tommy Amaker at 1 guard position. The All-America Johnny Dawkins 2 points away from breaking Mike Chominski's Duke scoring record, and that'll be one we'll mark early. Jay Billis at center. And the rest of the starters for Duke, David Henderson having a big senior season, and Mark Allery, he's the man that Dean Smith fears most.
Yeah, they must hold Mark Allery down if they expect to get out here with a win. Very tough place to get out. This is an antiquated gym.
In a charming way. I hope it stays this way.
It will.
Carolina gets the first chance. This is Hunter, hawked by Henderson. Lebo back to Hunter. Rebound Amaker. On the run to Johnny Dawkins. And a whistle, no basket, no basket. The foul was before the shot. That would have set the new Duke record. Dick Paparo, the official, indicating the foul before the shot. Dawkins, in his career here at Duke University, he's done everything, including clean up the floor.
Well, one of the things he did do last week, he wrote a letter to the student body to stay over for the game. And thousands of students stayed over for this game, taking 2 days out of their vacation. Could you imagine if their parents asked them to stay over 2 days?
Dawkins setting up Amaker. Tommy Amaker, 2-0 Duke.
Duke is starting out with a man-to-man.
Dawkins draws Smith. Wolf with Allery.
Carolina trying to go back door. That's how they beat them earlier in the season. They got about 8 back doors at Dean's Dome.
Joe Wolf ties it up for Carolina. A minute into the game. And we'll keep our eye on Johnny Dawkins. Just a matter of time. He gets that first hoop and becomes Duke's best scorer ever. Amaker to Allery. Ready to shoot. He guns.
Mark Allery, the fastest gun in the East.
Out of Scottsdale, Arizona. That'll be traveling. No, a foul. Yes, travel is the call.
Here you're going to see an excellent call off a late whistle. 1, 2 and a half.
4-2, the Devils lead it. 28-2 Duke. Their best season in history. Dawkins, not there. The drama will have to wait. Doherty rebounds for North Carolina. Smith ahead to Lebo. Hunter inside to Wolf. He's free. He traveled. No basket.
That was a close call. I don't know if he did drag his foot that time. Let's watch the feet on this play. Joe Wolf gets it in tight. Watch the feet. No, he held it. He made an athletic move there.
It remains 4-2. Duke leading, 2 minutes gone. Back door and a foul on Kenny Smith. And they're going to call that a 2-shot foul on Smith as they went for the alley-oop.
Excellent call. You got 3 outstanding officials. They picked their best officials for this game. Now watch Kenny bump him right there because he caught Kenny on the alley-oop on the weak side.
And that pass would have been there. It hit the backboard. That's exactly where Dawkins would have caught it and slammed it. And now he may set the record from the free throw line. This one is to Ty Jaminski. Branzino Smith comes in for Kenny Smith. That's a rather surprising early move by Dean Smith.
I was surprised that Kenny Smith started on Dawkins. Kenny Smith is so important to the Tar Heels, they cannot lose him. He can't get into foul trouble.
This to Ty. And this for the record. It's 5-2.
Phillips has a difficult job covering Doherty in there. Phillips is not that tall.
Lebo left alone, and the freshman hammers it home. 5-4, Duke's lead.
Carolina will do good if Lebo stays hot.
Phillips comes outside, and Amaker will reset the pattern. Allery with Wolf. David Henderson over Hunter. Doherty with a good rebound. And Carolina with a chance to take the lead for the first time. Branzino Smith around to Amaker. And traveling again. The third traveling call forced by this tough Duke defense.
Give credit to Phillips that time. Shut him off on the baseline, which created the walk.
Branzino out, Kenny in, Smith for Smith.
Good move. Dean Smith just changed him on to Amaker. I thought that the first decision was wrong.
Duke leads at 5-4, 3 minutes gone.
Lebo's on Dawkins now. If you clear out, Dawkins will take him to school.
Allery. basket is good.
Allie makes a quick move down low by the blocks. He's ready to shoot the second he gets the ball. He keeps the ball high around his shoulders.
Mike Krzyzewski, former Army captain, 1969, played for Bob Knight. 24 away from joining Johnny Dawkins in the 2,000-point club. Only one other time in NCAA history have two men, the same team, scored 2,000 career points. Hallery converts the three-point play, 8-4 Duke, with 16 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half.
Okay, Carolina, get it into Doherty.
Phillips with a rebound. Dawkins still a point away from the record. Way off the mark, Amaker. Phillips, 3 chances for Duke.
Can't win, give him multiple shots on the defensive board. Duke's a little quicker off their feet on the baseline.
David Henderson. Duke's lead is 6. Amaker to Dawkins. So Dawkins is cold. He may be feeling the pressure of the last game as a senior at home. And Doherty converts at the other end. Brad Doherty, another remarkable player.
Guy a little bit over 6'11" or a little bit under 7 foot, whatever you like, but that's a tremendous move down court and shoot while in motion.
Henderson. Oh, gets a kind bounce. 4 points for Henderson. 5 minutes gone. There's a foul on Dawkins as he tried to reach in on Lebo. Dean Smith in his 25th year at Carolina, and that is just an amazing record. 19 straight years his teams have either finished first or second in this Atlantic Coast Conference. Timeout, 14:47 left in the half.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
What's happening? The world-famous MetLife representative is adding new recruits to his prompt payment squadron.
You mean the one that makes sure MetLife claim checks get delivered promptly?
Yes, it's very important.
Snoopy is really getting tough with his new recruits, isn't he?
Only the best will do for MetLife customers.
What happens to the birds who don't make it into the prompt payment squadron?
They go into advertising.
Get Met, it pays.
Welcome back, Brad. All those trips you made paid off. The Avcon people just called and gave us the project. Check your top drawer. There's one more trip I want you to take. Aloha, Brad, and thanks.
When there's something special, people know it.
If you've ever dreamed the dream of a champion, now your sports fantasy may come true on NBC Sports World.
If you've ever dreamed the dream of a champion, now your sports fantasy may come true on NBC Sports World.
Sports fantasy is coming up. We've all had ours. Anyone who has dreamed of that magic moment in the Major League arena. How about the minister is going to goaltend against Wayne Gretzky? I'm anxious to see how he does. No fantasy here. The Blue Devils have been unbeatable this year. 14 straight since they lost to Carolina in this game, the finale last season.
Tough D by Duke.
Kevin Madden has entered the lineup, as has Dave Hobson for North Carolina. Doherty kicked by Allery, out of bounds to Carolina. So Dean Smith comes in with 2 new faces. Freshman Kevin Madden, number 22. And Dave Hobson, the 6'9 junior. He wears 35. Mark Billis knocks it out of bounds.
Tar Heels like to come up with something. This time down.
Good pressure defense for Duke. There's another turnover. Amaker's defense forcing the bad pass.
Not enough movement off the ball on the offense.
12-6, Duke leads it. 6 minutes gone. 3 of those turnovers were scrambling.
They lay off Amaker. They allow him the outside shot.
Allery, Billis. Jay Billis traveled. Well, 4 men out there for Duke are graduating seniors. When they started as a freshman and they were highly recruited and everyone in Duke thought, well, now we've got it. They went 7-17 their freshman year. Henderson, Allery, Dawkins, Billis. But they've grown together, and you hear it around the Duke campus and from Coach Krzyzewski, the players themselves, they've never had any problems. They really like each other, these kids. Dawkins, rebound Smith. He's still looking for the record. Amaker inside, taken away by Kevin Madden. Doherty inside against Billis. And a foul on Billis.
One of the problems, I said earlier, Billis has a hard job covering a big center. Doherty doesn't move too quick underneath. They're just nice, gentle moves. Gives head and shoulder fake. There's the body foul.
We're going to announce the John Wooden Award next Sunday at halftime of the Atlantic Coast Conference postseason tournament. Brad Doherty's in the top 10 for that award. He averaged 20 points a game this year and nearly 9 rebounds. Who do you think's going to win it?
I'm not sure. You've got about 5 heavy candidates, I think, or 6. I think Bias has to be one from Maryland. I'm real pleased that Walter Berry's staying at St. John's for his senior year. He has to be one. Kenny Walker, obviously, is one of them. And Dawkins, without a doubt, might have the inside lane.
Here's Dawkins for the record.
There's the record.
Standing ovation here at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Dean is saying, let's get on with the game.
It's awesome. He has been so remarkably consistent as a player scorer, starting all 4 years. Lebo inside to Madden. He scores, and he is fouled by Billy King. King just entering the game for Duke, number 55.
Madden has the potential of being a great star. In high school, this kid right here, Madden, when Lebo passes to him, his high school was 59-1 in his last 2 years. He had 10 points Wednesday evening against Virginia.
Went to Robert E. Lee High School in Staunton, Virginia. He's averaging just under 6 points a game.
His nickname is Horse.
Joe Wolf. Carolina had a chance makes it a 4-point play. It remains 14-9 Duke. Danny Ferry, and a travel.
Coach K got upset because the trail official called it. He was out of position calling it, K, but the guy did walk.
Krzyzewski in his 6th year here at Duke, 38 years old. Chance to whittle Duke's lead to 3. Lebo, good move. He travels. I've never seen so many traveling calls in a short period of time.
I think what's happening with the team play, they look to pass before they look to shoot, and it creates the walking. And they go back to try to put it off the glass.
Clock ticking down to the 12-minute mark, first half. Duke 14, North Carolina 9. Amaker. Rebound Doherty. He's had a good first half on the board, says Doherty. Madden. Allery intercepts. Oh, how Carolina misses Steve Hale. Allery. Lebo rebounds. Carolina with the ball, down by 5. Almost thrown away.
Well, they got that middle clogged up.
Doherty with that jump hook makes it 14-11. Brad Doherty with 5. Duke leads. Danny Ferry. Dawkins rebound. And a foul on King of Duke. And with it a timeout as we approach the midpoint of this first 20-minute period in Durham, North Carolina. Number 1 Duke leads by 3.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller car.
You'd never expect to catch a fish in downtown Austin. Yet that's the reason people come to the Austin Angler, one of the few places in Texas you can get a custom-made split bamboo fly rod and a fresh-tied woolly one to go on the end. So if you go there, remember, keep your rod tip up and put your Visa card down. Because at the Angler, they don't take fishing lightly, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We've got the shape you want to be in.
With 9.9 annual percentage rate financing, we've got the shapes you want to be in. Get 9.9% financing on Mercury Topaz and Cougar V6. Get 9.9% financing on Grand Marquis, Lincoln Town Car, and 86 Mercours XR4 GI. Plus, get 7.7% financing on Mercury Lynx. Hurry in and get into the financial shape you want to be in.
We've got the shape. We've got the shape you want to be in.
Monday, Valerie Harper stars in TV's most scrambled family.
Exxon Parade! Alley-oop!
It's Valerie, Monday.
The last time that Kansas was number 1, they won the national championship in '52, and a member of that team, a reserve guard, was that young lad, hustling kid from Kansas, Emporia, Kansas, Dean Smith. He played tough defense, and I asked him about the championship game. He said, I got in 50 seconds, but it didn't appear in the official scorecard. He said, I've been erasing history. Thank goodness that Topeka paper noticed I got in. 14-11 Duke.
Pressure up court with gentle pressure. Not looking to turn it over, just looking to break your rhythm. Make you set up a little bit higher on the offensive end.
Ramsino Smith and Billis moving out to check him. Picks up his second foul.
Foul on Jay Billis.
I don't know what Jay was trying to do that time.
Team foul situation. Duke 2 away from the 1-and-1. Excuse me, Carolina 2 away. Duke has the 5.
Duke's susceptible right now to a back door. That's why they're trying to drift off the weak side.
Ranzino shut off with the pass. Whoa, Kenny Smith with quick hands. Curtis Hunter kisses it off the glass, and it's 14-13. Carolina trailing by as much as 7 in this first half. A 1-point game. Dawkins. Johnny Dawkins with 5. At the 10-minute mark of the first half.
On a body check and down low.
Hunter. Good move by Curtis Hunter over Billy King. 16-15 the score.
He's one of the rare red shirts ever at North Carolina. And he had the pleasure of playing behind Michael Jordan. That's why you haven't heard too much about him. He's also been injury prone.
David Henderson converts the loose ball into his 6th point of the game.
Tempo's picking up. Duke is trying to stop the putback baskets.
Ranzino Smith forcing the shot. Henderson at the other end. He'll take the 15-footer. From a town of about 100 people, Drury, North Carolina, David Henderson. 8 points for him. Kenny Smith. Danny Ferry had a hand on it. Boy, this Duke defense is really causing Carolina trouble. Doherty, and a foul on Billy King.
Billy King was too close.
His 3rd.
One of the problems, Dick, that people don't realize is that Carolina cannot put on their pressure full-court defense because Steve Hale, not only being a great ball player, is a tremendously smart player, along with Warren Martin being out.
There's Hale. People now, the coaches knew how good he was. You knew how good Hale was. Now the fans know how much his presence is missed.
Well, he's an academic All-American, but also last year he had a shoulder separation in the NCAA against Eastern Tennessee, and the next round against Villanova, North Carolina got knocked out of the NCAA.
Are you saying his loss really cost them the chance to go on farther?
Last year, yes.
Jeff Lebo connects. The freshman has 4, 20-17. And, of course, Dean Smith hoping that Hale will recover. He thought he'd be able to play in the ACC tournament next week, but he's very weak yet. David Henderson is hot.
Good hustle by Wolf.
Joe Wolf with a rebound. 3-point deficit staring at Carolina. Wolf likes that shot in there. Kenny Smith from the side. And a foul on Wolf. His 2nd. One of the strengths of the North Carolina team is its depth. When you take those 2 men out, Martin and Hale, Dean Smith has to work with a thin deck.
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
This year, you'll apply your brakes over 50,000 times. And the more you stop, the more you'll need Midas. Because we back every brake repair we do with a nationwide guarantee on brake shoes and pads. If they should ever wear out, Midas will replace them free at over 1,400 locations for as long as you own your car. With such a good guarantee, why would you stop anyplace else?
Trust the Midas touch. Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and change your pace? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
All the excitement of college basketball is here. From the hotbed of the game, the ACC Championship. College basketball. It's the stuff Sundays are made of on NBC.
It'll be a championship weekend for us on NBC. Next Saturday, the Southeastern Conference postseason championship from Rupp Arena. And next Sunday, we'll be in Greensboro for the ACC Conference Championship. And, of course, that'll give us even more evidence as to the favorites going into the NCAA. Larry Brown, the coach of the Kansas Jayhawks, 28 wins, 3 losses, will be with us at halftime. And Al in the zoo. Mark Allery has 7.
A new dimension has just entered the game. Next foul on Duke is 1-1. Carolina are outstanding foul shooters.
Lebo driving on another freshman, Quinn Snyder, who was just in the game, number 14. Meanwhile, in the Big Ten today, Indiana leading Iowa, apparently on its way to a victory. The Hoosiers then would move into a tie for first place in the Big Ten with Michigan's Wolverines.
Now, here's the ingredient I said that is so important in this ball game. They got a 5-point spread. There's 7 minutes to go. Write it down, gang at home, and count the fouls going into the halftime. Carolina's only committed 4, so they can get 2 more. If they're hot from the charity line, which should be almost automatic with Jeff here.
He's a 73% shooter.
Any son of a coach can hit foul shots.
His dad, David Lebo, coaching him, Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Some people say this is the coming of the second Jerry West.
Yeah, he was rated one of the top guards, if not the top guard in the country last year in high school.
Nice trap there, excellent. Off the made free throw.
22-19, number 1 Duke against number 3 North Carolina. This is Snyder. Henderson again. Lebo with a rebound, stolen by Snyder. Big play by the freshman Snyder.
He stripped them clean right in front of the zebra. Talk about zebras. Where do you see at halftime? The animal. I went to the zoo.
It is one of the more interesting elements of our halftimes during the course of the year. Al in the zoo. Henderson. Doherty out-wrestled Billis for the rebound.
Penetrate more, Kenny. Yeah, nope. Pulls up, sets up.
Lebo off the glass. 22-21. 8 points for Lebo.
I don't give you credit for that one, Jeff. That was a prayer.
6 minutes remaining in the first half. Amaker. Did anyone touch it?
Got to get Dawkins back in there. Here he comes.
No one touched it, so it's Carolina's ball. Johnny Dawkins returns, as does Danny Ferry. Also in for Duke is their 5th senior out of this graduating class, Weldon Williams, number 40, from Park Forest, Illinois.
I think that's a fine gesture, putting Williams in at this particular time of the game. I don't know if it's a great coaching move.
Three-guard offense for Carolina. 2 of those men are freshmen. Lebo hits again, and Carolina leads for the first time.
Top of the show, we said Lebo has to get around 15 points.
Got 10 already. Mark Allery. Duke has turned cold from the floor. Here comes Carolina. Lebo, good move on Amaker.
Take it around the horn again. Duke is blocking up that middle. The shutdown's already down low.
Shot clock is 20 seconds. Brad Daugherty, 7 points for him, and Carolina extends its lead to 3 with 4:42 left in the first half. It is going Carolina blue here in Durham.
Can you guess which truck is priced lower than the top 5 compact pickups in America? Okay, so you needed a hint. Well, now you can get that low-price Isuzu for even less. Because Isuzu's offering 8.6% financing on all their 1986 pickups. And when Isuzu's are selling with 8.6% financing, you'd better be ready to move fast. Don't miss the 8.6 financing from Isuzu, the first car builders of Japan.
Sinus congestion.
I can breathe again.
Ah, the sweet smell of success. Get it with 12-hour Nostrella and Nostro with the one-way spray pump. It delivers a measured dose of penetrating mist every time. Squeeze sprays don't. You can't buy more effective sinus medicine. Ah, the sweet smell of success. Only 12-hour Nostrella and Nostro regular or mild have the one-way pump. It's the most advanced relief you can give your nose.
Success.
They say a new roof is a big deal. Messy.
Expensive.
Dangerous. But Goodyear said,
Try and top this.
and Goodyear developed a synthetic roofing that simply rolls on and seals tight with a hot air blower. It's fast, easy, and economical for schools, factories, and buildings anywhere. And it's waterproof, weatherproof.
So let it rain.
And remember, what they say doesn't always wash. Goodyear.
All the excitement of college basketball is here when the Giants of the South battle it out in the SEC Championship. College basketball, it's the stuff Saturdays are made of on NBC.
Yeah, welcome, Al. There's another sign that says Al-IS, Alice in Wonderland. Hey, have some peanuts. Will you have some peanuts? Those are going to come into play later at halftime as Al, well, he had a very special treat for these Duke students before the game today. 25-22. North Carolina. You see how Duke has turned cold from the floor, and Carolina opportunistically jumping in front after being down by 7. Danny Ferry can't hit. Rebound to Allery. Good rebound. Oh, what a play. He's fouled and a chance for a three-pointer to tie it.
Excellent move by Dean Smith that time. If you notice, they went into a zone for the first time with a three-point lead. Allery stays with it. It dances around, gives a victory lap.
Mark Allery, this will be his 9th point of the game, and boy, that's really working. Falling away and hitting it cleanly, now looking for his 10th point. He would join B.B. Davis, Mike Oliver at Lamar. They both scored 2,000 points in their career playing for Billy Tubbs at Lamar University. And Allery just a handful away of joining Johnny Dawkins, 2,000 each here at Duke. 25 all with 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the half. Lebo. Boy, the freshman Lebo having a field day, a dozen in this first half.
Well, as I said earlier, some people say that this young man could be one of the greatest guards of all time. I'm not talking about whether it's a high school year or a freshman year. I don't know how true that is.
Away from the ball, a foul on Danny Ferry. And cost Duke the ball. For blocking.
Yeah, but you're talking a one-on-one situation here.
17 fouls. Yeah, there's Mike Krzyzewski. He said he doesn't look like it, but he does have a nice sense of it. He said Duke wanted a big name coach, so they hired me. I got a big name, K-R-Z-Y-Z-E. Oh, yeah, that's K-R.
I'm staying over tomorrow to do a little show on K. That'll be part of my hour special on Easter Sunday. If you don't like my hour special on Easter Sunday, when I tell you who's going to win the NCAA Monday night, you don't like basketball. And I want you to write to me if you don't like it, and I'll send you a T-shirt. It's on the same time as the women's NCAA. special. Sometime while you're watching the women, turn into Al McGuire special on Easter Sunday. I don't want to give any plugs.
27-25. Lebo missing the free throw.
Ooh, what a move. What a move. He walked. I thought he walked. I thought he walked.
I thought so, too.
Oh.
The officials didn't.
I think that was one of the worst calls. I'm taking off on my friend, the ref. Ref Worth is right underneath there.
Yeah, he took an extra step. When he was bumped, the foul caused him to take an extra step. 1, 2, and then boom.
Body control.
And it stays tied at 27. 3:34 left. Joe Wolf. Carolina hitting everything they're throwing up there. Wolf has 4. 29-27. The visitors from Chapel Hill lead #1 Duke.
Get the ball in Dawkins' hands. Clear out.
Mark Allery. Ties it at 29. Senior Allery has 12 to lead Duke.
That was a Larry Bird McHale. 2 men, half the court. Nice pass.
Joe Wolf with a jump hook, and he has 6. Carolina back in front by 2. Well, this one's starting to live up to all of its advanced publicity. #1 most of the year, North Carolina. Currently #1 Duke. Kansas sitting in the wings, looking for a possible Carolina upset. And the Jayhawks would be #1. Foul on Ferry as Kenny Smith at 6'2" was able to gather the rebound.
You got to remember, Dick, that Dean Smith has about a week and a half to get set without playing of Martin or Steve Hale. So this is a different team than we've seen last week against North Carolina when he didn't have time to adjust at missing 2 of his starters.
North Carolina State. At the line, surprisingly, without a point in the game, is Kenny Smith.
Well, if they come to him, they come. He never forces. Remember what I told you earlier, the half is going to be decided on the foul line.
And Carolina, Steve Bucknell, the freshman who, from London, England, came up with a loose ball. Oh, what a pass! And a foul by Billis. Or was it Dawkins? We'll check.
The foul, I believe, was on Billis, and it kind of right across his face. It might have caught his eye a little bit.
It saved a sure basket by Doherty.
Excellent pass. It penetrates the middle, Lebo. No, it's just on the arm. It didn't go across his face.
But that's why, when you're talking about Lebo, why they have such high praise for him. It's not just that he's a good scorer, but the way he sees the floor. What a clever pass that set up the big man Doherty.
One of the most respectful things I can say about Dean Smith is that he has never recruited a ball player that he has to motivate.
Boy, North Carolina's had those free throw chances, Al, but have not been able to convert. Otherwise, their lead might be 6 or 7 instead of 2.
Well, when I said it, I think they were down about 4 or 5.
3-4-8. Carolina team that's consistently around that 75% mark from the line.
We can have these same 2 teams next Sunday in the championship, but someone has to take care of Georgia Tech, who is right in the class of these 2.
It wouldn't surprise me, though, if we saw a Maryland or a Virginia there. They're capable as well. That's going to be a great tournament.
And don't forget the baseline of North Carolina State. Maybe one of the best in the country.
Johnny Dawkins, a southpaw sling for 9. (32-31) North Carolina with 1 minute and 45 seconds now remaining in this first half. Brad Doherty. And the foul on Allery for a hold before the shot. I believe it was against the body.
Feather call.
First foul on Allery.
Guys that size, you can't be blowing that call. You'll be on the foul line forever, eternity.
At the line, Doherty. You know, when we saw that shot of Dean Smith as a player at Kansas, you notice where he was standing? Next to the coaches. He said he's very happy. I said, you ever going to retire? He said, no. We're talking about Bill Guthridge, his fine assistant. Another miss, and Allery rebounds.
Bill Guthridge could be the best assistant in the country if any of these schools wanted someone, but he won't leave the University of North Carolina.
No, he says he has found his home as an assistant coach. He does not want to be a head coach now. Almost considered going to Penn State 2 years ago.
19 years.
Amaker. And Duke is back in front, 33-32.
Wait for Doherty to get down low.
And Carolina with 1 minute left leads 34-33. First bucket for Popson.
Getting a little warning there. He's saying, that's it, Kay. Now, Kay's been chewing gum lately, so he won't get the problem with the officials. He thought early in the season he was going at them too much.
About 12 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Shot clock now at 33-32. Henderson. It counts.
A late call. That must have been a continuity call. You see that a lot in the NBA, especially if it's a star that's driving in the NBA. Watch the play. There's the foul there.
Well, he was fouled before he shot, and he was fouled as he shot. Anderson has saved some big games for the rival Tar Heels. You know, in high school, he drove a school bus to earn some change, and really has been a long shot to make it on the big-time level, and he has made it big. So he misses.
Small clock's out of action now. The clock you see is the game clock at halftime. I'd say they milk it down. Here's the four corners.
Carolina trying to get the final points of this first half and take the lead with them into the locker room.
They're not going to shoot if it's open. They're too well coached. They're going to wait till 6 seconds and put it up. Lebo will drive the middle and kick it off to Doherty or Popson.
They're trying to give them a false count, Duke student body, but Carolina doesn't buy it. Now with 7, it's Lebo.
He'll drive and kick off to the side. Good steal!
Amaker!
Hurry up! Made it time!
What a way for Duke to go into the dressing room at halftime. Amaker with a steal. The Devils by 3.
Where you going? It's Michelob.
This is it. Opening night.
Brian, party of 2.
You're on your way to the top.
They were just trailing by 3 is that you were soft from the foul line. North Carolina surprisingly has shot better from the field than they did from the foul line. The X's are the ones that are made. A lot of putbacks by Doherty. Here's Duke.
Duke, meanwhile, is the same kind of variety, but having more shots and hitting over 50%. The official first half statistics look this way for the other numbers. Free throws, only 4 for 10 for Carolina. That certainly is not characteristic. 3 for 6 for Duke. Rebounds fairly even. Turnovers, that's actually a -5 for Carolina. They've committed 5 more. Scoring, Lebo with 12, Doherty with 8, Wolf with 6. No one in foul trouble. Allery 12 and Henderson 10. Dawkins 9 to lead the Devils.
One of the reasons why North Carolina has 9 turnovers is obviously because Steve Hale is sitting on the bench.
Biggest turnover was the one that ended the first half. A 4-point play as Carolina was shooting for the lead. Amaker's steal. Alley-oop free. Too high, and Henderson unable to convert. Joe Wolf with the rebound. Kenny Smith to Lebo. Inside Doherty, and he was fouled.
Excellent pass by Lebo that time. I thought he was going to kiss it off the glass. They give a beautiful bounce pass into Doherty.
And that's 4 on Jay Billis, the first man in immediate hazard of disqualification.
You might see a substitution maybe right away with Ferry coming in for Billis.
Doherty is now 3 for 6 from the line. A 71% shooter on the season. He's looking for his 10th point. 37-36 Duke.
Looks like Carolina's trying to set up a trap. Here it is.
Dawkins, where does he take it to the hole? Not a hesitation. As soon as he had the pass, he knew where he was going. 11 for Dawkins.
Duke in a solid man-to-man.
In case you joined us late, Dawkins, with his first 2 points of the game, passed Mike Jaminski, the all-time scorer in Duke University history. Good defense. Dawkins on Kenny Smith. Hunter to Lebo. Henderson on Lebo. Curtis Hunter misses the layup. Wolf misses the layup. Hunter tips. Hunter tips again. Curtis Hunter stays with it and has 6. Oh, what a move by Dawkins. Can't get the hoop. Off somebody's foot. And there's Dawkins again.
Just fluid motion. No hitch in his body, no hitch in his shot.
41-38. Duke, and the turnover to Duke.
Watch how smooth the man handles the ball. This is Dawkins. Picks it up. He'll cut into the paint here. Then he'll sky. Automatic.
At 6'2", he has such leaping power that he plays like a 6'5" guard.
He's explosive. He can get a run of 8-10 points at any time in the game.
Billis staying in the game with 4 fouls, the same team that started for Mike Krzyzewski. And a hold on Hunter. Curtis Hunter, when they were recruiting him, he's here in Durham, they said, we want CH and CH. Curtis Hunter in Chapel Hill. It worked, so he migrated 8 miles away from his home here in Durham to go to North Carolina.
Tremendous ability, just hasn't got into sync yet.
Dawkins hits another. It's a 5-point lead for the Blue Devils. Hunter to the hole. And that's going to be on Billis. Or is it on Hunter? Oh, my. It's on Hunter. Now, see whether or not Billis had position when Hunter left his feet.
It's a hairline call. It's a judgment call. You can look at this from 5 different angles. Did he get there soon enough or didn't he get there soon enough?
I think he did.
I thought that Hunter was into the air before he got both feet set. He's into the air soon. But the block and charge and call will go on as long as the game of basketball is played. Which way to call it? The toughest call to make is defense in the pivot.
Henderson and Duke on a run have opened a 7-point lead. That matches their biggest lead of the game. 2.5 minutes into the second half.
Got to get Jeff Lebo shooting again. They put a taller man on him with Henderson.
Good move by Lebo, and he hits.
Yeah, he must have heard it. It was time. You had a guy who's got 12 points in the first half. You got to get him back the ball.
Jeff Lebo with 14. His high this year as a freshman is 18.
Amaker says, let's set up, do it right.
Mallory around Doherty to Henderson. Doherty with a rebound. Curtis Hunter on the fast break. 45-42. Carolina back with 4 straight. Dawkins. Rebound Wolf. North Carolina a chance to draw within 1. Kenny Smith through traffic. And the foul is on Hunter. And for Curtis Hunter, that'll be his second. Kenny Smith has been the only player that have an off shooting form for Dean Smith. 3-point game.
But they don't look for a lot of points out of Kenny Smith. They look him to run the show. Obviously, he's the coach on the court. When it gets down to prime time, the last couple of minutes, you want the ball in Kenny Smith's hands.
That's what did not happen at the end of the first half.
Well, he was on the bench. They're trying to save him. He had 2 fouls.
Amaker.
They give Amateur a little room on the outside.
Mallory And it's charging on Allery. Will the basket count? No basket.
Now they call the charge before the basket. Good call.
4 minutes, 5 seconds have been played in the second half. Number 1 Duke leading Carolina by 3.
They gave it a 4-cylinder, 16-valve jewel of an engine and the most sophisticated suspension outside the racing world, and even a rear aerodynamic wing. Then they gave it a name, the Mercedes-Benz 2.316. And the rest is performance history, or soon will be. Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
You know, I played a lot of roles as an actor. From a cop to a country singer. But in real life, I don't play roles. I do what works for me, whether it's my clothes or my credit card. And I don't carry my MasterCard for show. I carry it because it gives me all the possibilities and leaves the choosing to me. Possibilities and personal choice. That works for me. MasterCard. I choose it because I use it. MasterCard. Master the possibilities.
Crow Wing, Minnesota, and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Crow Wing means Northern Pike, big and mean, and Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, and Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
You know, it doesn't get any better than this.
Carolina has always been at or near the top in this highly competitive Atlantic Coast Conference. 19 years. That goes back to 1966, the year of the Beatles, and LBJ was the president. It was Burton and Taylor, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India. And in the world of sports, baseball, Frank Robinson won the Triple Crown for the Baltimore Orioles. That's how far back you have to go to find a Dean Smith team out of either first or second place in the ACC. He trails by 3. If he should lose today and Georgia Tech wins later, then Carolina would drop to 3rd.
In all those years, Dick, Bill Guthridge has been with him as his first assistant.
19 years, 19 times first or second. Wolf, not there. Amaker rebounds and shoots. Kevin Madden at the other end. Kenny Smith, he is lightning fast. Way off the mark. That might have been a pass to Doherty the way he threw it.
It looked to me like it was an overlay.
Amaker connects. 47-42, 8 for Tommy Amaker.
Get it back to Lebo.
5 minutes gone, second half. Oh, Amaker had his hands on the ball again. Amaker forces the turnover. Oh, he's such a steady player and so valuable defensively. Dawkins to Billy King.
Well, the big thing is they complement each other.
Amaker. Rebound Doherty.
Dawkins never would have reached the heights that he's reached if he was playing with another average point guard.
Inside, a pushing match, and it'll go against Ferry of Duke. His 3rd.
Watch these two sumo wrestlers right on the baseline of the screen, pushing and shoving. Watch them. There they go. Flesh on flesh. Now, how do you call it? How can you call defense in the pivot? An impossible call.
It goes against Ferry. He leaves with 3. Allery returns. Weldon Williams in now for Duke. Lebo. Boy, soft touch for Lebo, and the freshman has 16.
Going to have to play Lebo a little bit closer. Don't forget, Amaker's on him, which is taking a guy to school that's excellent at D.
Dawkins. Doherty. Chance to draw within 1 for Carolina. And it's against Wolf. Good position. by Weldon Williams.
Looked to me that Williams overreacted, but Wolf did charge. Watch the pass going down. Wolf starts to penetrate, going to change his mind for a jumper.
Check it, it was Imaker who got there. Makes another defensive play.
Oh, excuse me, that was Imaker? So he gave him the shoulder.
3 fouls on Wolf. 6 minutes gone, second half. Jay Billis is playing with 4, remember. Dawkins. 49-44. Dawkins with 17 to lead the Devils. Inside to Doherty for an easy 2. Assist to Curtis Hunter. Doherty with 10. 13 minutes remaining. Weldon Williams, the senior from Park Forest, Illinois. Averaging only 2 a game. He's got his 2. Inside to Joe Wolf. And a foul on King of Duke. That'll be his 4th. Mike Krzyzewski calling King over to the sidelines. The Duke coach now has 2 players with 4 fouls. King will take a breather. So it's Dawkins, Williams, Allery, Billis, and Henderson. A very big front line with Dawkins the only guard in the game at the moment.
Watch underneath the picking down low. It's almost violent.
From the side, Curtis Hunter. He's had a solid game as a starter. 10 points for Hunter.
An exchange in baskets. Somewhere along here, someone's going to get a spurt and move up and out.
Carolina led briefly at the tail end of the first half. It's been Duke's lead most of the game as they lead it now by 3. Henderson over Wolf. David Henderson with 14.
Looking inside.
Hunter around Williams. Throws it away. Henderson 2-on-2.
Take it yourself.
He got a kind bounce. Henderson lost control, but there was no one there to bother him. That equals Duke's lead, 7. Tipped in. Wolf and Doherty were both there.
Looked to me like Joe from Polo, Wisconsin.
Joe Wolf is what the public address announcer says.
Here's the zone for the second time. 1-3-1. Looking to give their big men a blow. Force Duke to hit from the outside.
55-50. Here comes Smith for Carolina. Oh! Hunter not ready for the pass.
Hunter, you must stay alive anytime that Smith has the ball in his hands. But if you'll notice, Hunter's starting to tire. With the magician with the ball, he's going to hit you right in the back of the head.
Timeout with 11 minutes, 21 seconds remaining. Duke by 5.
It is an automotive advance whose time has come. The Mercedes-Benz Supplemental Restraint System, SRS. In a severe frontal impact, a driver's side airbag and emergency tensioning retractors in both front seatbelts supplement 3-point seatbelt restraint. All in a fraction of a second. SRS, only from Mercedes-Benz. And now standard equipment on every Mercedes-Benz for 1986.
Mount Hood, Oregon and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Mount Hood means the best summer skiing in America. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light. There's nothing like the flavor of a special place and Old Milwaukee beer. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Man, it doesn't get any better than this.
Ambition, effort, competition. They make the race for the America's Cup a noble challenge. They make Hilton America's business address. And now, they make Conrad International Hotels a new standard in luxury resorts. Like the fabulous new Conrad International Hotel and Jupiter's Casino on Australia's Gold Coast. Conrad International Hotels, a subsidiary of Hilton USA.
All the excitement of college basketball is here. From the hotbed of the game, the ACC Championship. College basketball. It's the stuff Sundays are made of on NBC.
And at halftime of that ACC Championship game, John Wooden will be with us to announce the 1986 winner. That's just a part of the finalists. We'll give you the total list later. We'll run through all of them, in fact. The playback, 55-50, Duke with the lead and the ball. 11 minutes remain.
2-3 zone, the ball goes in, they'll trap the corners.
Johnny Dawkins with that marvelous body control has 19.
He's just too good. I think what's happening here, Duke is touching the ball. After the ball goes through the net, you cannot touch the ball. It slows down the fast break on North Carolina. I'm not sure, but I think that's what the refs are talking about. Leave the ball alone, it will hit you with a technical.
Dawkins with 19, that's just about his average, 19-2 on the season. Big trip down court for, that'll be a block on Amaker.
Uh-oh, two different calls. One guy called blocking, the other called charging. Worth called charging. Margie here, the taller man, that's his nickname. He called blocking.
Oh my, is that a break for Duke? Amaker stuck his leg in there.
Amaker did move over. Dean is right in this situation. They caught Duke on the back door. Now watch your back door. That's here he caught in the back door. Amaker moves over and puts his knee up.
Shouldn't have been a whistle in the first play. It was barely contact.
The baseline man called blocking. The wing man referee called charging.
Boy, Amaker in the right place, and then it's off the hands of Doherty. You know, you mentioned something last night, which is really interesting as a coach. You didn't want two great officials. You want one grade, one B, one C. We have two men who are used to being the leader on the court, Lenny Wirtz and Dick Paparo.
Yeah, Dick and Lenny are both what we call take charge officials. I always like a Chinese menu where you take the egg roll from A, from B you take the fried rice, and from C you take the fortune cookie. I've never seen Chinese guys eat in Chinese restaurants.
I'll take you to one. 57-50, North Carolina down by 7 as we approach the midpoint of the second half. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left. Madden dishing back out to Kenny Smith.
Kenny needed that big basket, keep right in the ball game. That's his first deuce.
First points of the game for Smith.
Carolina, hard man-to-man. Equal the foul situation. Both teams have 5 each.
Allery not there. Amaker gets another rebound. And he's fouled. And it counts.
It looks to me like he was fouled after the shot by Popson. In that situation, it could be a 4-point play. Not that foul there. Now wait, lets the ball go, the foul right there. So the shot's good. It wouldn't be a 1-on-1 because it's not in a 1-on-1 situation. So the most it could be is a 3-point play.
Tommy Amaker, the right place at the right time. He's had 2 of those long rebounds that have kicked out to him, and he tries to convert the 3-point play. If he makes it, it's the biggest lead of the game for Duke.
I always like guards that pick up those secondary rebounds we called them years ago.
60-52, 11 points for Tommy Amaker. He's averaging 6 a season on the season.
Tar Heels will not panic. They'll stay right inside their offense, looking for the high percentage shot.
Ranzino Smith with the ball inside to Doherty. A nice pass. 60-54.
Is that high percentage enough for you?
I would think that's about a 90% shot.
That's what makes
Doherty.
Carolina so tough.
Henderson, Doherty. Out to Kevin Madden, the freshman.
Ball gets over to Smith, and they set up.
Just under 9 minutes left. Carolina with the ball, trailing Duke by 6. Kenny Smith. Doherty.
Another 90%er.
That's such a soft, easy touch, Brad Doherty. 18 for him to lead Carolina.
Lebo has to get back in here with a hot hand. If he gets back in with a hot hand, we might have ourselves a wire job. Oh, he was due to come back in. That was automatic.
Lebo in, Rancino, Smith out. They gave Lebo about a 2-minute blow.
They're in the zone. 1-3-1. They'll trap the corners.
Mark Allery. Uh-oh, that's going to be against Kenny Smith for pushing out.
That was a good call. He had position. He didn't have to back up. He backed up after he got position. Now, if we got a chance to show that, Kenny, you're wrong on that. You did excellent box out. Now, watch the shot Mark Allery takes. There's Kenny. He puts the back. Now he backs out. You can't back out. You have your man blocked in the position right on your rear end.
That is the 7th team foul in Carolina, so a big foul it is. 5 have been called against Duke. So at the line is David Henderson.
David Henderson, MVP of the preseason NIT championship, where they beat Kansas.
They beat Kansas by 6. And there's a push-off on Allery. His 4th. So Duke has 3 men now with 4 fouls. Allery, Billis 2 starters, plus Billy King off the bench. So 3 big men are saddled.
Well, the only real serious one that's not expendable is Mark Allery. You got to have him in there on the stretch run.
Boy, did you see how quickly Smith got that ball into the offensive end? Madden into Doherty. So they take advantage of the foul situation, and Doherty has 20, and it's a 2-point game.
Get guarded that ball down in the paint.
Dawkins answers. 21 for him.
I don't know what to say about Dawkins. He's so good.
Inside Doherty.
There you go, Doherty.
62-60.
In your face basketball, back and forth. 7 feet to 6'1".
Was touched by Kevin Madden, who slipped in on the backside of Dawkins. Mike Krzyzewski, Dean Smith will tutor their pupils. 7:41 remain. We'll return to Duke after these words from your local station. Chris Sky from Kentucky, Alfred of Indiana, Tarpley, Michigan, Bedford from Memphis State, Curry of Virginia Tech, Walter Berry, St. John's. He's going to be right there. Danny Manning's the only sophomore for Larry Brown's Kansas team, and he's from North Carolina, Coach.
That's right, Greensboro, North Carolina, but he went to Kansas.
How'd he get away from Dean Smith and wander all the way out there to you?
I don't know. I think his dad might have enjoyed coaching with me, and that's how we got him right.
Well, there were 3 juniors on that list and 1 South.
There's the freshman, Danny Ferry, 64-60, his first bucket. 7:24 left in the game, Duke by 4.
First zone by Duke the whole game. They're in a foul situation. Both teams are in a 1-1, and the arrow favors North Carolina. This is the first zone. Carolina has to adjust to the zone. They'll end up taking an outside shot, I believe. They're doing this to stop Doherty. He ends up heating up, getting 4 baskets in a row. 2 of them are putbacks.
And it also helps protect him with the big men with the 4 fouls.
Going up.
Lebo. Boy, he is automatic. That matches his season high, 18 points.
They got to play Lebo man-to-man inside that zone, anywhere that he's in the perimeter. Now we're going zone on both ends.
You know, before the game's over, I'm going to ask Coach Brown if he agrees with anything you've said today. Ferry to Henderson. Boy, 2 great teams with superb athletes putting on a terrific basketball show today. 66-62 Duke.
And next week we might have them on a neutral court in Greensboro.
That'll be all for Billis. That's his 5th foul.
Probably has to go to Mark Allery a little bit sooner than he wanted to if that foul was on Billis. I'm not sure. Yes, it was.
Billis did not score today.
Got yourself a difficult call, but that's part of the game. Yeah, he's bodying him.
Mark Allery will return for Billis. After his years in basketball, wherever they may take him, he wants to be a sportscaster. I'd sign him right now. A little more character in his face, though. He's a little too good looking for us, but he's got a great voice and very bright and a terrific personality. He worked for ABC during the Olympics.
He'd probably become an executive then at NBC.
Brad Daugherty at the line. His failure at the free throw line could be a major factor today. He's 4 for 8. Four-point lead, Duke. 6 minutes remain. Henderson to the hole. David Henderson, a big game for the senior. He has 20.
Chess game right here. Obviously, Duke will not leave the zone unless they go down. They're up 6. They want to stop the big guys down low.
Daugherty a little farther out. Ferry rebounds.
That was not a good shot selection that time. He should have kicked it back out again.
Now these Duke fans starting to smell a victory that they would savor regardless if it's for number 1. This great rivalry between these schools so closely geographically aligned, 8 miles apart. Ferry over Daugherty. Rebound Wolf. Down by 6. Here comes Smith of Carolina.
Lifetime left on the clock. Over 5 minutes. I think Carolina should look for the outside shot. Get it around to Jeff Lebo.
Wolf takes it.
What happened that time, Daugherty sealed the baseline by being under the basket. Wolf was free for a 15-footer.
8 points for Wolf. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remain. Duke 68, North Carolina 64.
40 seconds, it becomes Dawkins time. With 4 minutes left to go to the game, Dawkins gets on his afterburner.
Kevin Madden with a blocking foul will send Henderson to the line, and that's 4 fouls on Madden. Check that, it's his 3rd foul on Madden.
Here's an obvious block right here.
That Henderson has a quick first step, doesn't he?
Has no fear either. You know, he wants the ball.
Madden out, and Curtis Hunter has returned for Carolina. Henderson looking for his 21st.
Game is going to be decided on the foul line. Look for Dawkins to handle the ball more going in the stretch run.
Five-point game, 69-64 Duke. Inside to Daugherty, unstoppable in there. 69-66.
I thought Duke made a mistake that time, went back to a man-to-man. There's no possible way you can stop the baseline man-to-man, not with Mark Allery having 4 fouls.
Clock ticking down to the 4-minute mark. Henderson, he calls himself country strong. He leads Duke with 23.
But Edric Colvin told to get away with a charge that time.
Inside to Daugherty and a foul on Ferry. That'll be his 4th.
We got a new thing in college basketball the last 2 years. All the big men put their arms high and they rake you out with their body.
Now let's see if this is a case in point. Watch the body of Ferry. I don't know, Coach. Daugherty is only 4 for 8 and misses again. That's a big part of the story.
What is his shooting average for the year before the season started from the foul line, Dick?
He was hitting 71%.
That's unbelievable. What's he shooting so far?
4 for 9.
Wow.
And 3 of those were front ends of 1 and 1. That might as well be 4 for 12.
It's under 4 minutes. That's the man who'll touch the ball most of the time. The Super All-American.
Now They'll work on the clock. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
A little bit too soon to work the shot clock. It's only a 5-point spread.
Allery from the corner, way off the mark. But it goes to Dawkins. And a rebound, Doherty. Stolen by Dawkins. And Amaker. Dawkins and Amaker working their defensive magic as well. So that earned them what amounts to about another minute.
But another 30 seconds anyway. The problem again in college ball, Dick, is they take the clock too far down. They throw up a Hail Mary shot. The pros know how to play with the clock. The college kids don't.
Actually, Allery's shot was so bad it was good. Missed everything. See the shot clock in the lower left, the game clock at 2.5. Allery!
Timeout, North Carolina. Ball timeout. Ball timeout.
Timeout it is.
Nickel.
Did you see yourself before the game?
When I'm tired, I look good.
Out of Pearl, huh? Out of Pearl Buck. Hey, deep in the grass you were. The kids enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. It's nice that you still have so much boy in you.
Well, I enjoy the Duke student body. I always believe the higher the school is academically, the lower they are in their verbal abuse during the ball game.
Next week, Steve Hale, the star senior guard, North Carolina, hopes to return for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship tournament. We'll have the finals next Sunday at 1 Eastern Time. A 7-point lead for Duke.
Obviously a zone. They'll favor Lebo. He's free on the left-hand side.
Allery with a steal. Good play by Mark Allery. Well, the seniors for Duke were honored before the game, and they have certainly shined. Dawkins, Allery, Henderson have all had big games.
Kenny Smith does not have enough zip on that ball against the zone. He goes directly across court.
Uh-oh, Henderson. The biggest lead of the game for Duke. Well, it's celebration time now. 9-point lead, a minute and a half to go, and the Blue Devils will be number 1.
Nice move.
Kenny Smith with a steal. Taken right back by Allery. .27 for Henderson.
I used to always say to my team in this situation, Dick, look at the crowd and remember what a reputation we got, because when we get beat, the crowd goes absolutely crazy. They go bananas. So remember this. Absorb, you know, the beating so the next time out that you'll understand what you have developed in this run of 19 years at North Carolina.
There's a foul on Lebo in the backcourt. There's a big statistic in this game. Turnovers are like, well, in football, the intercepted pass or the fumble recovered. And Carolina has been more mistake-prone than Duke. Coach, your reaction here in the final minutes of these two teams and their play today, Larry Brown?
Well, I just think, you know, Carolina turned it over a lot. I thought about the play when Kenny Smith came down and hit Hunter in the back of the head. That seemed to me like the turning point. And then Carolina missed some one-on-ones. But it's tough when you lose Hale and Martin and have to come in and play with this emotion.
Will this affect them going into the ACC tournament?
No, I think, like you said, I'll agree with you this time. I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off Carolina, and they'll be ready to play, and Duke has to do it all over again. But they've got a lot to be proud of.
Thanks for breaking your habit of disagreeing with me.
Coach McGuire, I'm trying.
Doherty with a rebound. He's had a big game for Carolina. Smith uncontested. He can't hit. Wolf bats at home, and Dean Smith will call a timeout. We have 47 seconds remaining. Anxious to see how they treat Dawkins in his final seconds.
Mercedes-Benz was building sports sedans before there was such a term as...
Did you have a sports fantasy?
I would like to be a model inside Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Judy Campbell,
or at least invisible. Final seconds here at Duke. Kenny Smith with a foul to stop the clock. 45 seconds remain. A 10-point Blue Devil lead.
Next 45 seconds, Dick, will take about 5 minutes to play. Dean Smith knows he's down 10 points, but he's still teaching, he's still coaching. They will call all their timeouts when they can. They will foul intentionally. They'll have a sub on the sideline to stop the clock at every turnover.
Well, did you see that game last night? University of Alabama, Birmingham. Gene Bartow almost stole one using the clock and fouls. His kid made a 60-footer at the end. Jacksonville State. Congratulations to Bob Wenzel's team for winning that Sun Belt tournament. It was a great game. 10-point lead. 40 seconds. Ranzino Smith.
Timeout. See that right away. Coaches these fellas.
78-70. Timeout Carolina. 38 seconds remain.
8 long years of development are over. Introducing the new Mercedes-Benz 300E. It moves from 0 to 55 in a stunning 7.5 seconds. It moves performance sedan engineering into a new dimension. And it returns to 0 with computerized ABS anti-lock brakes. The new 300E sedan.
Since I hung up my size 19 sneakers, Dave and I always get together for a few Miller Lights.
And argue about who was the greatest player.
You were the greatest.
No, Bob, you were.
At least we agree Lights taste is the greatest.
Yep, Lights also less filling. And you can't afford to get filled up when you're the great Bob Lanier.
Come on, Dave. You won the MVP and the championship. Those were the 2 biggest feats in basketball.
No, Bob. Those were the 2 biggest feats in basketball.
For the biggest taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Coming up next on Sports World, it's Sports Fantasy. Can a viewer score the winning foul shot against a nasty Notre Dame crowd? Can a viewer survive a sneak attack by the kissing bandit, Morgana? These fantasies and more coming up next on Sports World Sports Fantasy.
Dick, that fantasy on the Notre Dame with a student body, it must have been about 6,000 of them screaming, and they take this guy out that wanted to take the shot. And I thought the fellow was going to have a heart attack. You'll enjoy watching that.
38 seconds left. Duke. And with 35 seconds left, the clock stopped. The foul on Ranzino Smith. The 4 of the 5 Duke seniors that will leave after this year will leave with 1,000 points or more. Dawkins now the all-time scorer in Blue Devil history. Mark Allery only 14 away from 2,000. As we said, Allery and Dawkins then would become the first pair to score 2,000 and only the second in history. The 2 kids at Lamar doing it, Smith and Oliver. Henderson near 1,500 and Billis over 1,000.
What's going to happen next year, and Coach K realizes this, they're going to slip down to the 2nd division. There's no doubt about it. They have some great ball players, obviously, in Amaker and Furry and so forth, but you cannot replace those 4 seniors. That's impossible. So the Duke fans better enjoy this year. Hope and pray they get to Dallas and go see J.R.
Allery starting at 124 every game. So did Dawkins. The 2 of them did not miss a start in their 4 years here at Duke. 80 to 70. Little icing for the Blue Devils. Joe Wolf.
Last timeout.
And Dean Smith does indeed spend it. He doesn't leave many games with those in his pocket, does he? Unless he's won big. Coach Brown, as long as you're with us, there are some rumors that associate you with the possibility of being the 1988 U.S. Olympics coach, that you're one of the 2 or 3 or 4 that we hear mentioned. What would you think about that?
Well, it'd be something I'd love to have an opportunity to do. I got to play on it for Mr. Iver in 1964, and I was the assistant to Coach Gavitt on the team that didn't go in 80, but I honestly think there's some other guys that have been around a little longer than I have, and like John Thompson and Lou Conasecca and people like that. I can wait my turn, but it's a goal of mine someday.
Let me lay something on you, Larry. Would you go, if you didn't get the head job, would you go as the assistant if invited to be the assistant?
In a minute. I think it'd be a great opportunity, and I'd love to help. I just want to help and get involved in the movement and keep some of these young kids in college where we can have a great team.
Let's say Danny Manning would be a potential member of that team, wouldn't he?
Well, we had some great kids at the sports festival, you know, like Purvis Ellison and John Williams and Hammond and Danny Manning. I'd like to see those kids stay, and I feel confident Danny will.
A whistle. That'd be something for the committee to look into.
A foul on Duke, apparently. Johnny Dawkins, who is quite puzzled by that whistle, apparently.
Now remember, Carolina now has no more timeouts left. They will foul immediately, and the ref will call the next foul a two-shot foul, probably. Let's see if that happens, huh?
At the line is senior James Day. He's from Burlington, North Carolina, a walk-on. He works against Kenny Smith in practice, and Dean Smith has him out there with a chance to take a bow himself here in this crucial game.
He put in a fella now, Wolf. He should have moved him in, obviously, for the rebounds. You're moving your height. You move out Smith. Now he'll put another fellow over on the bench to stop the clock if possible. I say Carolina fouls within 3 seconds.
Day misses. Tipped out by Doherty. Lebo to Day. Kenny Smith hits. It's a 6-point lead, 80-74. Or Carolina just does not will. They'll give it to you right to the final second.
Here's the foul right away.
Lebo committing the foul on Amaker.
Oh, they called it 1-1. But they let the clock run that time. They lost about 4 seconds, bring the ball in bounds.
I want to thank our coordinating producer of college basketball on NBC, George Finkel, who is also our director today, and David Neal, our producer. Is a lot of extra work, as you have appreciated during the course of this game, and very special Carolina and Duke to conclude the regular season. And congratulations all the people down in the truck, our technicians and camera crew. And I think we've been able to share a terrific collegiate experience this afternoon. And our executive producer, Mike Weissman, here as well. He bought the peanuts for Al. What a guy. It'll be interesting to see how the crowd reacts at the end of this game with a win, and how the seniors, too, show their emotions. Amaker with 12 points in the game, and how do you measure his defense?
It seems one of the wildest statements people think I made this year, and I called these two guards the best guards in the last 10 years. It's mainly because they complement each other. If they have a weakness, it's their size.
Let me just whisper something to you. Michael Jordan and Kenny Smith. How about that for a backcourt? Season #1 in the nation. Tournaments to go. We thank you, Coach Larry Brown from Kansas.